Welcome to Headline Hub Updates. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. Breaking news. Tensions have erupted in the West Philippine Sea, sending shockwaves across the region and drawing the world's attention to this volatile maritime flashpoint. The situation is rapidly evolving, with new developments unfolding by the hour. Chinese jets are aggressively buzzing Philippine patrols, flying dangerously low and close to vessels in a clear show of force. The naval standoff is intensifying, with both sides refusing to back down. Each maneuver, each pass, raises the stakes and the risk of a catastrophic miscalculation. The calm blue waters of the South China Sea, once a symbol of peace and abundance, have now become a flashpoint for international conflict. Today, October 22, 2025, a simmering territorial dispute has boiled over into a direct and dangerous confrontation, threatening to destabilize the entire Indo-Pacific region. Chinese military assets are actively asserting control within waters internationally recognized as Philippine territory. This is no longer a distant diplomatic squabble. It's a real-time crisis with catastrophic potential. The presence of heavily armed ships and aircraft has transformed the area into a high-stakes chessboard, where every move is scrutinized by the world. The Philippine Coast Guard, on what should have been a routine patrol, has reported multiple close encounters. Chinese J-10 fighter jets are conducting low-altitude flybys over Philippine vessels near Scarborough Shoal, clear acts of intimidation designed to send a message. The tension is palpable, with every crew member on high alert. Beijing's message is unmistakable. This is our territory, and we will enforce our claim by any means necessary. Every radar blip, every ship's maneuver, every radio transmission could push this standoff past the point of no return. The risk of an accidental clash or a deliberate escalation looms large over every moment. Scarborough Shoal, also known as Panatag Shoal, is more than just a disputed reef. It is a lifeline for Filipino fishermen, a vital source of livelihood for thousands of families, and a strategic outpost in the heart of the South China Sea. For China, controlling it means dominating a key maritime trade route that sees trillions of dollars in commerce each year. For the Philippines, losing it would devastate national pride, cripple the local economy, and threaten the country's territorial integrity. Filipino crews, outgunned and outnumbered, are holding their ground, a testament to their nation's resolve and courage. On board, they document every provocative act, their cameras and radios, their primary weapons in this information war. Each recording, each transmission, is evidence for the world to see, proof of their struggle and defiance. These sailors are the front line in a conflict that could reshape the entire Indo-Pacific balance of power. Their courage is undeniable, but so is the danger they face every hour. As the world watches, the fate of Scarborough Shoal, and perhaps the future of regional peace, hangs in the balance. The latest escalation in the West Philippine Sea began quietly, almost imperceptibly at first, but soon intensified with alarming speed. What started as subtle shifts in maritime activity quickly transformed into a full-blown standoff, drawing the eyes of the world to these contested waters. In early October, Philippine patrols made a startling discovery. New oversized buoys bearing Chinese markings had been strategically deployed near Scarborough Shoal. These buoys weren't just floating markers. They were a clear attempt to establish a physical perimeter, signaling a new phase in the ongoing struggle for control. The message was unmistakable. This area, long contested, was now being claimed with fresh resolve. By mid-October, the situation escalated further. China's largest Coast Guard ships formed a blockade at the lagoon's entrance, physically shouldering Filipino vessels aside and creating what many described as a wall of steel. The blockade was not just a show of force, it was a direct challenge to Philippine sovereignty, raising tensions to new heights. Then, on October 18th, the standoff took a dangerous turn. Chinese J-10 fighter jets swooped down at alarmingly low altitudes, buzzing Philippine ships and sending a clear warning. The roar of jet engines overhead was a stark reminder of the military might backing China's claims, and it left Filipino crews on edge, bracing for what might come next. And satellite imagery soon revealed even more: a PLA Navy frigate lurking just beyond the visible horizon, its presence providing overwatch and a constant reminder that escalation could happen at any moment. The shadow of this warship loomed large, underscoring the seriousness of the confrontation. Scarborough Shoal lies just 124 nautical miles from Luzon, well within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, a fact recognized by international law, but increasingly ignored in practice. For the Philippines, this proximity is not just a matter of geography, but of national security and livelihood for countless fishermen. For China, over 500 nautical miles away, the shoal's value is strategic. Its occupation completes a triangle of control in the South China Sea, linking artificial islands and military outposts into a formidable network. This triangle isn't just about territory, it's about projecting power across one of the world's busiest maritime corridors. This is no random show of force, it's a meticulously planned operation. Buoys serve as the pretext, Coast Guard ships establish a constant presence, while jets and warships provide an unmistakable threat. Each element is carefully coordinated to reinforce China's claims and deter any challenge. Beijing is not just flexing its muscles, it's testing response times, gauging the resolve of the Philippines and its allies, and working to normalize its military presence in these disputed waters. Every maneuver is a calculated step in a broader strategy to shift the status quo. Each action, from deploying buoys to building outposts, is designed to make China's occupation a permanent reality. The construction and constant naval traffic signal a long-term commitment, not a temporary show of force. The world is watching closely as China changes the facts on the water, challenging international norms and raising the stakes for regional stability. Global leaders are voicing concern, but the situation on the ground and at sea continues to evolve. The stakes have never been higher. With every passing day, the risk of miscalculation grows and the future of the South China Sea hangs in the balance. The Philippine government's response has been swift and resolute. President Marcos Jr. convened an emergency security meeting and declared, "We will not yield a single square inch of our territory." The Department of Foreign Affairs lodged a sharp protest, demanding China's immediate withdrawal. On the water, Philippine Coast Guard vessels continue patrols, documenting every hostile maneuver and broadcasting radio challenges. Transparency is key. Videos and images of confrontations are released in real time. The Philippine Navy and Air Force are on high alert, redirecting joint patrols with the U.S. to monitor the situation. These drills are now a live component of national defense. Civilian groups are organizing supply missions to blockaded fishermen, showing deep national resolve. Manila's strategy, a full-court press, diplomatic, legal, military, and civilian to push back against Beijing. The international response has been swift and unified. The U.S. condemned Beijing's actions and reaffirmed its mutual defense treaty with the Philippines. Japan and Australia voiced strong support, conducting joint naval patrols with the Philippines and the U.S. The European Union and key European powers called on China to abide by the 2016 Arbitral Tribunal ruling. This coalition underscores that South China Sea stability is a global concern, not just a regional one. By internationalizing the dispute, Manila gains crucial leverage. Diplomatic pressure and joint patrols raise the political cost for Beijing. China's actions are isolating it and strengthening the alliances it seeks to undermine. To understand today's crisis, look back to 2012. After China seized Scarborough Shoal, the Philippines took China to court. In 2016, the Hague Tribunal ruled in Manila's favor, rejecting China's 9-dash line and affirming Philippine rights. China rejected the ruling, dismissed it as null, and doubled down on its activities. Beijing built and militarized artificial islands, blocking Filipino fishermen and harassing supply missions. The years since have seen China enforce its rejected claims with Coast Guard and maritime militia. The current crisis is the most aggressive phase yet in China's campaign to render the Hague ruling meaningless. China's strategy is two-pronged militarization and lawfare. Massive artificial islands now serve as military bases, projecting power across the South China Sea. The China Coast Guard, maritime militia, and PLA Navy form a three-tiered force, using gray zone tactics to intimidate and coerce. Lawfare. China passes laws authorizing force, imposes fishing bans, and deploys buoys to legitimize its claims. These actions create a paper trail of effective control, despite the 2016 ruling. The Philippines faces a bind, respond, and risk conflict, or do nothing and lose ground. The gradual escalation at Scarborough Shoal is a textbook example of this strategy. Beyond geopolitics, Filipino fishermen bear the brunt of this crisis. Scarborough Shoal has been their ancestral fishing ground for generations. The Chinese blockade has severed this link, forcing fishermen farther out for smaller catches. Daily earnings have plummeted, pushing many into debt or out of work. The government offers fuel subsidies, food aid, and new boats, but these are only temporary fixes. What fishermen want is safe access to their traditional grounds. Encounters with the China Coast Guard are terrifying. Chased, blasted with water cannons, equipment destroyed. Some have had their catch confiscated. The psychological toll is deep. Many are now too afraid to return. They are caught between economic desperation and real danger. The human cost of this standoff is devastating. The West Philippine Sea is now a zone of near-daily confrontations. Over 200 incidents of Chinese coercion against Philippine vessels have been documented this year. Chinese Coast Guard ships, far larger than their Philippine counterparts, routinely perform dangerous maneuvers. Water cannons and military-grade lasers pose direct threats to crews and vessels. The introduction of air power, Chinese jets buzzing patrols, raises the risk of catastrophic miscalculation. The psychological pressure on crews is immense, increasing the chance of human error. Each standoff is a roll of the dice. The risk of a serious incident rises daily. The West Philippine Sea is a powder keg, and China keeps lighting matches. The Scarborough Shoal crisis is more than a regional dispute. It's a test of the global order, where the rules of international conduct are being challenged in real time. Over $3 trillion in trade passes through the South China Sea each year, making it one of the world's most vital maritime arteries. Every day, thousands of cargo ships, oil tankers, and container vessels navigate these waters, connecting Asia to the rest of the world and fueling the global economy. If Beijing gains control over these strategic waters, it would wield immense leverage over the economies of Southeast Asia and beyond. This control could allow China to influence shipping routes, dictate terms of trade, and project power far beyond its shores. The U.S.-Philippines Mutual Defense Treaty means that any clash here could quickly escalate, drawing in the United States and risking a direct confrontation with nuclear-armed China. The stakes are not just regional, they are global. The ambiguity of what constitutes an armed attack in this gray zone is dangerous. With ships and aircraft operating in close proximity, a single miscalculation or misunderstanding could spiral into a conflict between superpowers with consequences felt around the world. The West Philippine Sea crisis is deeply linked to Taiwan. China's tactics here, assertion, intimidation, and incremental advances, are seen as a blueprint for future aggression, especially toward Taiwan, raising alarms across the Indo-Pacific. Failure to stand up to Beijing's assertiveness would only embolden it elsewhere, encouraging further expansion and undermining international law. The events unfolding at Scarborough Shoal are the front line of a global struggle, one that pits the principles of law, cooperation, and peaceful resolution against the forces of raw power and coercion. The courage and resilience of Filipino sailors and Marines patrolling these contested waters is truly commendable. Yet, the danger they face is ever-present, as tensions simmer just beneath the surface. Today, the calm blue waters of the West Philippine Sea mask a volatile reality. This region, once known for its beauty and abundance, has become one of the world's most dangerous flashpoints, a place where the future of international order is being decided.